So welcome everyone. We're really excited to kind of show you what we've done with Intellectus Qualitative, how it can help your students and you and others doing qualitative research, and show you how AI has been filtered into this practice of this research protocol. Okay, so AI is obviously playing a crucial role in qualitative research, handles lots and lots of data, and it's able to automatically really code and thematize your excerpts. Let's just, well, obviously it's good for learning and teaching. In terms of the impact of AI, what AI technology is available for qual research? Well, it should be used for all the above: learning, teaching, and research. In terms of the time to teach and learn the art of research, this is really helpful because you don't have the time to go in and start for students to thematize large things of data. So they can get a sense of what coding and thematizing is with the help of AI. In terms of accuracy and thoroughness, obviously researchers will really like this. And mitigating bias as well. I guess AI has got its own bias, but in terms of the researcher bias, that can be reduced a bit. Okay, so one of the things that I want to start off with is just talking about the way that data is entered. The most typical is that the interviews or whatever data you have are by interviewee, and that's how data is entered, and that's how I'll enter data during this presentation. But know that when the auto coding and auto coding is occurring, it can be grabbing from any parts of the interview. All right. The other two options is to have data sets just by interviewer question. Right. Here's digestion experiences, and here's digestion coping mechanisms, and putting in data just in those formats. Again, either by research question or study aim, or by the interviewer question. This is going to restrict the AI in terms of what data it has access to. So just to know that there's several ways of inputting data. All right, so I'm going to introduce two best practice protocols. The first is with inductive. That is, we go in, we do not have a code book, we have not selected excerpts, and the process or procedure is to upload your data, or the tool can transcribe audio or video. Really everything has to be read and reread, obviously, because when you do any kind of coding or excerpting, you don't know if it's right or not unless you have that expertise in that data and real competence around that. The third step of the generating codes by conducting inductive autocoding, the AI will go out and identify important passages. Then it will create a code name for those excerpts, and then a description of that code. After each one of these AI processes, there needs to be a refinement, which is the human analyst gets in there and says, these codes and these code descriptions and these excerpts all hang together, all make sense. So that has to happen. Then we also have a generate theme by coding auto thematizing, generating themes. Here, it's an interesting process where we're really using statistical analysis and AI to, one, identify the optimal number of themes. That's one part of it. And then the other part is to say, well, for each of those themes, which codes go with that theme, name that theme, and describe that theme. So that's really the second kind of AI piece of this. And then there's a refinement process as well of themes, their descriptions, and then again, making sure those codes make sense to go in that theme. Then we've added yet a third piece, which is this research question theme alignment. And this kind of came about by, we had the auto coding, we had the auto thematizing, but somewhere along the line, we figured out that, hey, guess what? We're not just doing this for fun, that we're answering research questions or aims. And the question is, how do those themes with codes and excerpts, how do they align with those research questions? So we have AI do that process. Then we go one step further and have a rationale for why that research question and that or those themes go together. So that's a suggestion of the rationale. Again, it's helping your thinking about this coding and thematizing and the alignment with the research questions and giving you suggestions at every step of the way. And then there's that refinement part two that, hey, does this rationale make sense? And then we can download our analyses. The deductive best practices is very similar where we're uploading data, reading, but here we're uploading a code book of our our themes and our codes and our code descriptions. Then we're conducting really deductive auto coding, refine, thematize, refine, research question theme alignment, refine, and then download. And with that, let's just get to it. And I hope to mention that we do have courses too. So, okay. So let's get to that. So the first step is to create a project. So let's just go ahead and do that. All righty. So project name, we'll call it overview. And really, it's a data sets around digestive disorders. So, okay. And there's an opportunity to put in your purpose statement and research questions. So let's go ahead and pop in that purpose statement. Okay, so here's the purpose statement. All right. And then we could also put in the research questions. Obviously, for that research question theme alignment, you need to have research questions. So the first research question we have is refers to the experiences of folks with digestive disorders. Okay, and now add a second research question, which is about how individuals really cope with digestive disorders. Okay. Put that in. All righty. So we have the name of the project, the purpose statement, research questions, and then we'll just submit. All righty. The next part is to get the data in. And I can add transcripts here. I can upload PDFs or text files or doc files, Word doc files. Upload audio or video to be transcribed at 25 cents a minute, or I can just start typing in or pasting in a transcript. So let's go ahead to upload data, and then I can go to two of the interviews. These interviews are about an hour long, so about 15 pages each, and they're all ready for use. By the way, when I show you the uploading of transcripts or any of the AI processes, it really doesn't matter if it's 30 pages or 630 pages. The time is very similar. So it's not a linear relationship between time and file size or project size. So here's our two interviews. One's with Brett, the other one's with Sarah. Okay. And so the first thing we'll do is we'll go into the AI tools, and I'll do inductive. And so this process is really going through those pages and discerning what are the important passages or parts of the interviews that are important. It's going to then cull those, create a code name and code description for those excerpts. Generally speaking, it takes about 1 minute and 11 seconds, but if you take up to a few minutes, but for the folks that are, going through 300 pages and they're working on it for 3 weeks, they're very happy to wait 3 or 4 minutes. Okay. And then I'm sure this next run will be just fine. Okay, so out of those 30 pages, it identified 8 unique codes, and 90 excerpts to go into those codes. So I can just apply that to the project. And you can see, for Sarah, here are for Sarah and for Brett, here are the 8 different codes. The next process would be really to go into each one of these codes, go into the details, and then really look at that suggested code name, look at that suggested code description, and then make sure that those excerpts really kind of go together with that. Okay. And you'll want to do that for each one of those codes. I do want to mention that there are 2 other ways of getting codes in there. One of which is, I'll say, a hybrid version of AI and human, which is I can identify an interesting passage. Okay, let's just grab some of that. And then I can go to the AI assist. So the human researcher is identifying the passage. The AI is identifying creating a code name and code description, and I can just add that. And then, of course, you can manually add a code name description and then add a passage to it. So, all righty. The next part of the process is really to get the theme. So I can go to AI codes and go to automatic thematizing. And as I mentioned, the process is identifying the optimal number of themes and then saying which codes go inside of each of those themes. You can change this if you want to have more themes or less themes, or some a priori thoughts about that. That's all fine. And then I can just apply those to the project. And you can see that this icon represents the theme. And then this represents the code. And then that next step is going into the details of the theme and reading to make sure that that suggested theme name, the suggested theme description, and those codes all make sense with those excerpts. So you'll want to do that for each one of those 4 themes. Yeah. And just like in the coding process, there's also ways of getting to the other ways of grabbing themes. So I can go to add theme. I can go to AI assist, and what I can do is just select several themes that I think, several codes that go together. Okay. Let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, so what the AI has done is it's created a theme name and theme description for different codes. Okay. And I can add that if I'd like. There is also a manual process where I can add a theme name and theme description. All righty. While this is all going on, the memo, if that's available to me, I just do there. Okay, so in the memos, you can kind of see what's been happening here. That JA, the first initials of my login, are just kind of documenting some of that. And then also I can be adding memos along the way at any point in time with a title and tag. All righty. I also have an excerpt list growing and going, which is the excerpt and then the code and theme that goes with that excerpt, and then who who that's associated with, Sarah or Brett. And then I can go to the insights document. And in the insights document, there's a few things, but one is that research question rationale. So here I have my two research questions, the experiences of folks with digestive disorders and then coping mechanisms. So for each one of those, I can use the AI suggest. And what it's doing is saying which ones, okay, which themes go with that research question. So the AI has suggested those three for that first research question. And here we have the research question. What are the experiences of folks with digestive disorders? And then for each theme, is providing a rationale for why that theme goes with that research question. Ditto for the second theme with rationale, and then ditto for the third theme with rationale. Okay. I could also do a deep dive into the themes by, selecting one of the themes, identifying some representative excerpts. So I'm kind of building my results document. And here you can see, here is a theme. Here's the theme description, the code and the excerpts that go with that theme. Oops, I'm sorry. Challenges. I think I was here, pardon me. So here is the theme, and then the theme description, the codes that go with that, and then the supporting excerpts. We also have a excerpt list. So here are all the excerpts. This is going to be important because we're developing a way for students, faculty, and researchers to do inter-rater reliability by presenting additional raters with the excerpts and with the themes. They'll do a matching task, and then we'll calculate those kappas for you. And then there's a memo list as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Okie dokie. So, and then all of this gets downloaded into an editable Word document. And in that editable Word document, we have some of our results. That rationale part for each theme. 1, 2, 3. And then with the rationale, and then the deep dive of each theme here. Okay. And this theme, description with those supporting excerpts. All righty. The other thing I'll mention, which is not directly related to a few things. One is just to know that under the AI tools, we can upload a code book and you can run deductive coding on that. And I also wanted to identify or highlight that the tool also can come with with 20 courses, lessons. They're competency-based lessons, so they have quizzes, goes behind learning management systems, and then grades go to your grade book. So I think with that, I will stop for a moment and open up for questions.
And feel free to enter the questions in the Q&A, or if you want to raise your hand, we can unmute you.
And of course, if you're a faculty member or researcher, you can get a trial of this by contacting Melissa or Ashley. Review the lessons if you'd like. Any questions at all? Don't be shy. And that's fine. If there's no questions at the moment, certainly you can email us. Let me just put this out there. So for sure that you can contact Melissa or Ashley or myself. You can call us, you can email us for more information.